What's up, guys? So I'm back from YCS Richmond, where I was able to get second at the Ultimate Time Wizard Edison event. Definitely check out my deck profile that's already up on the channel. That was really just to get a video out as soon as possible because I know people were curious about the fish deck list. I wanted to do a slightly more detailed video because there's more to discuss and I don't really feel like people fully understand what the deck was trying to do. So, I wanted to give some background just on my tournament prep, how to do some of these fish combos. So I just wanted to showcase a few quick fish combos in case people still don't really know what the deck even does. Anytime you're resolving coelacanth, you basically have 6 options of the guys to get. You have to make a choice between, which 4 you're going to get from your deck. Tuner, non-tuner, level 3, level 1. And that really just depends what end board you're trying to make. So here are a couple of the most common ones. A good percentage of your games are just Colossal Armory, and these 4 kind of are the most versatile end boards. You can do a lot with this, and a couple of them I'm going to show right now. Pretty easy to see how this makes Colossal Armory. This is a 1 and a 4, the Armory. The 2 4s make the Colossal. So you put the Armory into their monster, and Colossal crashes into it. The Colossal goes to grave, Armory stays on their monster, and they take 28 because, well, it's really however much attack the Colossal had on the field. 28 times 3 would be 84, so they would just die, assuming you can crash 3 times, and probably you take a minimal amount of damage. But if they had a monster that wasn't over 1800 attack, then what you can also do is double Armory. You need the second Oyster in deck to do this, and all of this is really dependent on what you might have in deck. You would basically make these, and again, should be pretty simple to see how you might do this, like the other Armory. And you probably would want to make Colossal first because otherwise your board space might get clogged. For the fish board, just to get it back, there is a level 3 water on board, so you can just summon him back, pitch whatever, and then you make the Armory here. So, that one can get interrupted by Crow. It's important to know which of the combos do or don't, but that is basically the Colossal Armory lines. Some other ones, if you have maybe a frog on board already as well, but for all intents and purposes, that's what we're working with. The other kill combo is actually using the same starting 4. And with this, you just make Black Crows with the eel and the oyster, and then you get a token from the oyster going to graveyard, and then you synchro with those, and it's a 6. Goyo Guardian, and that is already 8,000 damage, 24, 28, 28. And what's nice about this too, if you hit with this, you hit with this, and then if they do drop cores, which is really all you have to worry about, then you can still take it with Goyo. There is a slight variation on this. This is just a 7 and a 6, right? So you can do pretty much the same thing, making Urbellum instead, but if earlier in the combo you brought back Fishborg, so again, requiring an extra card, then you can make Red Dragon. This is still 8,000 exactly, so it costs an extra card, but you're also ripping an extra card with Urbellum. So you might do something like this if you are worried about them, hand trapping or borzing you, and you could be left in a slightly better spot. Red Dragon obviously gets really hurt by them having Battle Fader. And the only other one that I would think of as a main combo line or something, some of the Mistworm combos. So you could really do the same 4. Then what you can do off this is just go into Armory right away. And if you remember in the earlier combo, we were left with an extra token. Well, surprise, that extra token can get used synchroing with the Tongyo and the Royal Swamp Eel. And that would make your Mistworm, and you bounce everything. So this would be 71 damage on board. So if you happen to have an extra, Swap Frog and a water discard, then you would pitch that and special it here, and that is 81. So those are a couple of the most common combos, and really the backbone of all of this is maybe just a simple situation. Turn 1, you go into summon sub, or you just normal summon the Swap Frog. Either way, you find access to Swap Frog. Summon that, you dump the Treeborn to grave, then you bounce it back, and then on your turn, they pass, they do something, whatever, they hit you for some damage, they summon a guy thinking they want to pressure you, then bring back the Treeborn, maybe you drew some extra water, whatever, literally any water. So you pitch that, you special this, and then you tribute both for the coelacanth, and that's when you do any of the number of the plays that you just did. And if they put a big monster on the board, you just Colossal Armory them. With a little monster, maybe you can double Armory, or if they didn't do any of that, then maybe you can make an advantage play with Herbal. But those are the main combos that I would do with this deck, so I hope that is some clarity for just like how the deck even functions. So despite all that, I still wouldn't really call the deck like an OTK deck. That was something that I noticed a lot in the YouTube comments and at the venue, people would be like, oh, this guy's playing Fish OTK. But if you really watch the games or watch my ladder games, whatever, you would see that, a lot of the games I'm not like turboing into an OTK. I'm not playing all these like draw spells or anything. I'm really just trying to like stall out and kind of push incremental advantage. And then if I have an opportunity to resolve the coelacanth, then I can probably kill you in one shot. But, any more than you would call zombies or like Vayu an OTK deck, it's just like I am trying to set up for the coelacanth, and that often can result in an OTK. But even compared to some of the other lists I've played, I'm not so hyper focused on that. And I think that's what gives my game plan kind of some versatility as well. It's a really strong deck, and one thing that the couple factors that kind of led to me like bringing it back for this tournament, because I had used the Fish deck a couple of years ago in like money matches and some other small tournaments. People kind of thought it was dead in the water, and like new modern side plans against frogs were just going to kind of kill it. But I still felt like, it had a good matchup against the Frog Mirror. Anytime they drop a Caius or Absolute Zero or something, you can usually just coelacanth combo and armor and Colossal off it. So it makes them have to play really awkward, and even if they don't want to commit, I can kind of push an incremental advantage of my own. At the same time, you still have a lot of the advantages of frogs, the frog engine in general, which is, being pretty good against heroes and other kind of aggro matchups. A lot of decks just don't like playing against frogs. A lot of players aren't very good against playing against frogs. So, it had a lot going for it. I practiced a lot with the deck, and I enjoy it. So I think with the couple kind of updates I made, I was able to really, get it to a good spot and felt good about it. I played 100 matches on the ladder got a count as a little bit of a troll, but yeah, I went 88 and 13 or something before the tournament. So kind of just results alone, it's like, I kind of felt like I had to play the deck. But yeah, it wasn't really like it wasn't just a meme, like I don't want people to think that, oh, James just coming through playing dumb stuff just to prove a point or something. It's like, no, like I played Vayu and I've played all these other Diva Hero beat decks, but I was bringing Vayu to the locals, the same locals that me and Ernie, the guy who won, and a bunch of other really good players all go to. And I wasn't doing that well. Like I was bricking on the Vayu hands where I was losing the Vayu mirror, and I was just feeling like, yeah, this isn't really the deck I want to bring. So it wasn't like I just chose it as a gimmick, I really do think Fish is a strong deck, and especially when we're talking about Junk Frog or Hero Frog or which is the best variant, Diva Frog, all these things. I think Fish is totally in that conversation. I think it's a really strong deck if people actually put the time in and learn the combos, which who knows? I don't know if there'll be a big upswing in Fish players hitting the ladder or whatever, but hopefully. Anyway, this tournament was a lot of fun. I hope to put up some gameplay footage soon, or maybe do a stream where I can play this deck and kind of elaborate on some of the lines. Also, I think maybe doing a more comprehensive frog guide could be pretty useful too, because I showed you guys some of the Fish combos, but really the frog combos are also the backbone of the deck, and the way I sequence some of the frog stuff is different from a lot of people, I think. So definitely expect some more stuff with the Fish deck soon, although I am a little bit relieved to maybe not have to only play this deck anymore, as I have been for the past couple months. But yeah, it was a really good tournament experience. I really did brick badly in the finals. Anyone can look at it. You don't want to draw multiple Fish, or especially without Moray. And yeah, that was exactly what happened. And the Vayu deck just did its thing, and I got run over. It's a miracle I was even able to win game 2. But was going to beat anyone, then Ernie's a good guy and goes to my locals. We had pretty good representation from the New York squad down there. So, you know, is what it is. And seeing it be my own value deck too is also kind of a cool experience. So I'm happy to introduce yet another fun, viable deck to this format in Fish, and I hope to be able to do it again soon. But yeah, I mean, it's hard because there's so much kind of detail and nuance to the Fish deck, so I think it might be best expressed through gameplay. Unfortunately, I can't show all that and what I would do in exact every situation, but I hope this does give some context as far as what the deck can do and what I'm seeking to do by playing it. So I hope you guys enjoy and expect more content soon around that.